Now this is the advanced part of the microeconomic theories. Now in the microeconomic theories there are some of the parts that we will study in this playlist. At first we will study about the technology, then we will study about the profit, and then we will study about cost and monopoly and perfect competition later on. So there is a the technology is a very important factor of production. As we know that the technology is very important factor of production, and technology is very important for actually produce any output. Technology is very much important. With enhancement of technology, or with a greater and improved version of technology, we can actually get a high output, or a farm can get a high output by employing higher level of technology or improved level of technology. Now in this part we will study about the technology, about the production sets, about the production functions, and what are the implications and what are the proofs of those things. So what is technology? Technology is very basically the method that we are using in the production, and the supplementary elements that is helping those methods to produce the output for a farm. One of the main objective of production is to measurement the input and output. Now obviously when a farm is producing something, the farm will require an input and the farm will produce output from that input. So farms produces output from various combination of input. It is written here. So suppose what are the inputs? Input can be labor, input can be technology, input can be capital. So all of these are basically inputs, and output is the final good that the farm is producing. If I take an example of a biscuit farm, the machines or the machineries that are basically used to produce the biscuit, the labor who are working in the biscuit farm, and the capital that is invested in that biscuit farm, all of these are basically the inputs of the production. And what is the output of the production? Output of the production is basically the biscuit that is being produced. Now here suppose the farm has possible n goods to serve as input. That means the suppose we are assuming that the farm has possible n goods to serve as input. That means the farm is actually taking n goods and using that n good as input or output. The farm has two options. The farm can either use that good as input or either use that good as output. Suppose a biscuit farm has produced 10 packets of biscuits. Now these 10 packets of biscuit can be again used as input. How? Suppose the farm has sold these biscuit packets, that is basically the output of the farm, into 5 rupees per packet and obtained 50 rupees. Now when this farm has obtained 50 rupees and again investing this 50 rupees back in the business, then this biscuits that is actually produced by the farm is again it is used as input. So the goods that are farm producing can be the output, or it can be again used as input. Now here in this case we are assuming that the farm is basically using yji unit of good j. That means the farm is taking yji unit of good j as input and produces yj0. This yji, suppose a farm is producing, or the farm is using 2 unit of good j as input. So this yji is basically 2, and suppose the farm is producing yj0. Yj0 is producing or is being produced by the farm. So suppose the farm is producing 5 unit of biscuit, and the farm is using 2 unit of biscuit as input. That means the cost of 2 unit or 2 packet biscuit is going again into the production process. So it is basically considered as input, and these 5 units are being produced by the farm. So this is considered as the output. Now this yj, what is yj? Yj is basically the subtraction of yj0 minus yji. When if yj0 or yji, sorry, when yji is greater than 0, then the jth commodity will be used as net producer. That means the jth commodity will not go back into the production process again. The output will remain output and it will not go as input in the production process again. And if yji is less than 0, that means the jth commodity is used as net user. That means the jth commodity will go back in the production process again. Now what is a production plan? A production plan is simply a list of net output of various goods. Suppose the farm is producing biscuit, the farm is producing butter, the farm is producing some other goods also. So in this case, this biscuit, this butter and all these elements that are being produced, or all these goods that are being produced by the farm, is the production plan of the farm. So we can represent a production function, or we can represent a production plan by a vector y, and y is in Rn, r to the power n, that is the real number. That means y is supposed to be any real number. So the yj, what is yj? Yj is the jth good, and it depends that the jth good will serve as input or output, depends on the value of the jth good. That means suppose yj is the jth good, and jth good is basically we have to determine that whether this jth good will go back in the production process again, or this jth good will not go back to the production process and it will be termed as output. So if the jth good, that is yj, so the jth good, that is yj, so we have to just determine that if this jth good will serve as output, that means it will be sold in the market, and the rupees that we have obtained by, or that the farmer has obtained by selling this output, will go back to the production process again, or it will not go back to the production or go back to the farm again. If it goes back to the farm again, then this rupees or this jth good is serving as input. But if this jth good, or the cost of the, or the value of the jth good, the price of the jth good has not being obtained in the production process again, then it will serve as output. That means suppose I have sold a biscuit of 5 rupees, and if I take that 5 rupees and put it into the production process again, then that 5 rupees or then that biscuit is basically working as input. But if I sold the biscuit at 5 rupees and I am not taking that 5 rupee into the production process again, if I am not putting that 5 rupees into the production process again, then that biscuit was serving as output. So this depends, we have to determine. How can we determine? From watching, or from just seeing the yj, how can we say that it is input or output? If yj is negative, then the jth good is serving as input, and if yj is positive, then the jth good is serving as output. So this is basically very simple. If yj is negative, then jth good serve as net input, and if positive, then jth good serve as net output. Now what is production possibility set? Production possibility set is a set of all technologically feasible production plan. All technologically feasible production plan can be termed as production possible set. That means all the feasible production plan that can be achieved. So there are different types of production plan. Suppose a production plan with 5 labor and 3000 rupees of capital. Similarly, a production plan can be with 20,000 capital and 2 labor. Similarly, a production plan can be of 30,000 rupees of capital and 50% of labor. So all of these are different production plans, but which of the production plans are feasible? That means which of the production plans are technologically achievable. All those technologically feasible or technologically achievable production plans are considered as production possibility set, and this production possibility set will be denoted by capital Y, and it is a subset of it is basically in the real number set. That means the Y will be in the real number set, it will be a real number. The set Y is supposed to describe all the patterns of input and output that are technologically feasible. That means all the patterns of input and output that can be achieved by the production processes is termed as production possibility set, that is denoted by Y.